What's up, guys? I haven't done a video in a while because, as most of you know if you follow me on Twitter, I had to get new equipment because of previous equipment not working so well. So hopefully we're kind of back in action when it comes to that. Right now I'm still using the previous camera that I was using. I still have to get another component for my GoPro that I just got, and we should be able to start using that soon. As you can probably tell, I'm in a different background. I got a table stand for the camera, so I'm using that and kind of just exploring other angles and whatnot. But this video you'll probably end up seeing Sunday. Yeah, most likely Sunday or Monday. The footage and photos that you are seeing to my right are part of the reason that I am doing this video. It's what I like to call my ComicCon story. I am 33, and I know that most of my friends who have been, into the Comic-Con scene started going much younger, back when we were in high school. I just never had the means to go when I was a teenager. So my Comic-Con journey didn't really start until I was probably about, I went in 2014, so I was 29. Sounds about right. I was never good at math. 2014 was the first time I had ever gone to Comic-Con. I ended up going to Wizard World Nashville, and it was probably one of the most liberating experiences I've ever had. And it was an instant addiction. I ended up meeting so many people who I had grown up watching on TV or reading about or what have you. I even met people from my mom's era when she was my age. And, excuse me, I have the hiccups. And just knowing that these people had such an impact on my life growing up, it really was a sort of one of those full circle kind of things. You grow up being influenced by these people, and then you're able to connect with them on a more personal level and tell them. It's amazing. The one main person that I got to meet in 2014 was Jason Frank, who played the original Green Ranger on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And he was actually the reason that I decided to go to Wizard World Nashville. At the time that I got the tickets, I was actually living in Tennessee. I had been in Tennessee for about 9 months after moving out of New York, and I realized that he was going to be in Nashville. And I was about 4 or 5 hours from Nashville at that point. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take the risk and go see him. And in that time that I got the tickets and everything was situated for going out there, I ended up moving out here to Southwest Virginia. And so it was a little bit tricky to, still keep those plans intact, but it still happened. And it was one of those things where, if you know me personally, you know that because of being in the wheelchair, I've always felt like I've, kind of stuck out. and blending in when you are basically in a tank that doesn't have, weapons on it. Blending in doesn't really happen. So I was wondering, how, because I had never been to a Comic-Con before, I was wondering how much I would end up, sticking out, how much I would be recognizable, or how much my chair would be a focus more than me. I ended up getting to Comic-Con, and it was like Christmas. I'm just going to tell you. I mean, the North Pole, I know that there's a place in upstate New York that they call the North Pole. I believe it's in upstate New York. That has nothing on a Comic-Con. Like, you go in there, and if you're somebody like me, you instantly feel like you blend in, but you also belong. Because there were even other people in wheelchairs, like myself, and, everybody just looked their own way, and it just kind of flowed. The footage that you're seeing to the right is actually a convention that I just attended a few weeks ago, called Lick ComicCon. And it's a Comic-Con that just started actually here in the area, and it's easily one of my favorites in the area, in this general area. And it's still growing, but I absolutely love it. The guy who runs it, J.D. Sutphin, he's one of the best people I've ever met. And you don't really grasp what impact Comic-Con has until you've either seen video footage, photos, or if you've been there yourself. And I feel like, it's really something that people can't explain. It's a feeling that you have. You can go and you can, look all around, but the feeling that you have when you're there is really what gets you. And I think it made me more of a social person. I've always been a social person, but I think it made me less awkward at being social, because I was always afraid to approach certain people and just strike up a conversation with them. But Comic-Con, you are literally everyone's family. It's like a gigantic family reunion every year, or however many times you go in the course of a year. And the best thing about Comic-Con, depending on if you go to the same one each year, or if you go to several throughout the year, you tend to connect with so many people that you end up developing a gigantic family. Like, each time you go, you have new family members that you meet. And it's just one of those things that I think everybody should experience, because I think when you get to be an adult, I always heard when I was a kid that adults forget how to be kids. I think that if you get, when you get to be an adult, you have to go to Comic-Con to remind yourself what it was like to be a kid. Because there's even stuff from my mom's era, not even just the stars that come, but there's stuff from my mom's era that's there, and I've brought her to the last two Lick ComicCons, and just being able to see what she grew up with and hear, stories about what she remembers is pretty cool. So it really kind of bridges the gap between generations, because there are things all the way, I believe, from like the 1940s, 1950s. Obviously with the comics, you have characters that were created back then. So to know that, your parents, grandparents may have even had a connection with those characters is pretty cool. Like I said, it's just one of those things. And I wanted to, kind of create a video where if anybody with special needs like myself sees this video, if they're wanting to have an experience where they end up meeting their, their childhood heroes, like I did with Jason, I really suggest going. And I suggest the parents of the younger kids make every effort possible to bring your kid to, their first convention, because I guarantee that as a family you're going to have a great time. And it will be something that you will never forget. Because I remember when I was 8 years old, going to Disney for the first time. I remember because I see pictures, but I don't have any, I don't know if the right word's cognitive, I don't have any actual memories in my head of it, only the pictures that I've seen. And I think that, if you attend it with your family, everybody having those memories is going to be a lot easier for the younger kids to remember it. But it's an experience that I think everybody needs to have. I know this video is pretty random. I didn't really script anything regarding what I wanted to talk about, but it's just one of those things that I wanted to be able to get this footage, put it together in a coherent manner, and be able to do something with it. I will be hopefully back to regularly posting and hopefully getting back into, doing the list of things that I wanted to do as content soon. But hopefully I can, get this video up there and it gains a little bit more traction than my previous videos. But I will see everybody soon. And I've got things in my eye, and it's not just my eyeball. I will see everybody soon, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, I will put the link in the description. Instagram, I'll have all of my social media in the description. Feel free to reach out to me. Tell me your ComicCon stories. If you can remember your first one, how old were you? Was it a solo experience like myself, or was it, with family? Let me know. I want to hear everybody's ComicCon story, because I think it's something that we can all kind of, collectively, communicate on. And it's something that we can all share. So I will see everybody soon, and have a great day.